that we were able to develop. We recruit as a team here, so a lot of coaches did a great job. A lot of people in the university community chipped in and helped us with academic interviews and so forth, even though they weren't here. We did them virtually. Our academic staff here at the university, the strength and conditioning, the medical staff, everybody did what they would do on a normal visit. They did it virtually. And I think that process really helped us. That adaptation, really helped us develop relationships with players so that we could, have the kind of recruiting class that we had. We always try to define, what our expectations are, what our needs are in every recruiting year. And for the most part, we were able to accomplish what we wanted to accomplish with this recruiting class. We got 5 offensive linemen. We got 3 or 4 defensive linemen. So we got some quality big people, I think, that can help us. Skill guys, especially at the receiver position, was something that was a need based on what we've lost the last 2 years at that position. Was, a lot of pretty phenomenal players. So these guys are going to have a great opportunity to contribute. We're always interested in getting a high character quality quarterback, which we did. We're able to add some, perimeter people on defense. So all in all, I think there's a lot of balance in this class in terms of the kind of players that we got. But as I always talk about, we're not really interested in rankings or ratings or anything like that because, I think that how guys develop in your program is really what is the most important thing. And I think that we've had guys that had no stars around here that became first-round draft picks, and we've had some 5-star guys that, didn't turn out as well as we thought they might. So we don't have any expectation but to evaluate every player in terms of where they are and what they need to do to improve so that they have the best chance to be as good a player as they possibly can be. We have 15 players here started at midterm or in January with us. And that's going to be a tremendous benefit to them to be able to acclimate, first of all, academically, and as well as have an opportunity to have extra time to develop and learn and get the knowledge and experience they need to have the best chance to contribute, next fall. So I want to thank everyone who contributed to this class. I think that sometimes a lot of people go unnoticed in terms of their effort, in terms of what they do to help us recruit well here, because it is a team effort from the entire university, the academic community, the athletic department, our athletic administration contributed to developing relationships with these guys, our coaching staff, phenomenal job. So all the way around, everybody did everything that they could do in a situation that took adapting, and we adapted well, and I think that is reflected in what kind of class we had.
Okay, guys, we will go ahead and get started with questions. We'll get things started with Michael Casagrande. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, just given all the talent you guys are losing at receiver, what do you think about this class, the 4 guys you signed at receiver this year?
Well, hopefully they'll be able to develop into, I think 3 of them are here right now, so it'll be interesting to see how they develop. We certainly are going to need some people to step up at that position because we did lose some really good players, but, we've had years in the past when, we've played young guys at that position and they made significant contribution. I use the example a lot of times when we were playing Georgia in the national championship game. Smitty caught the touchdown pass. He was a freshman. Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy were both in there. Leatherwood was playing left tackle. Najee was playing tailback, and Tua was playing quarterback. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity at a lot of positions, but especially at wide receiver for these guys to make a contribution.
We'll go to John Zener with the Associated Press.
Yeah, Coach, I know there's no substitute for meeting these guys and their families in person, but given the situation y'all were in, were there some techniques, some recruiting tools, some technology that you say, well, hey, this is something we can use more often in the future when things are back to normal?
Well, I think using virtual Zoom, whatever you want to call it, to do home visits is something that was very beneficial to myself and the assistant coaches in terms of developing relationships with the families. We also included the families in, virtual practice. We included them in virtual, medical meetings, virtual strength and conditioning, academics, academic appointments. So this was our only means to be able to adapt to. So is it better in person? Yeah, I'd much rather have personal relationships and be able to have people visit us and show hospitality, and they get a chance to meet more people, not just the person who is actually Zooming with them. But we had a lot of people contribute in trying to do that in a lot of ways, including our players in some cases. So, um, look, nothing's better than being in person. All right, but we adapted and did what we had to do the best we could do it, and I think a lot of people did a really good job of that. Now, do we implement some of these things in the future? Absolutely. Does that mean they should replace personal relationships? I don't think so.
We'll go to Charlie Potter next. Charlie, go ahead.
Yeah, hey coach. Obviously, you guys lost Najee Harris, but what with what you have coming back, and now the addition of Camar Wheaton, just what do you think of your running back depth for next season?
Well, Najee had a great year for us, and we don't ever try to compare players, and we're not trying to replace Najee, but we do have some other players that I think that make contribution this year, and their experience is probably going to be helpful as their role is going to probably increase. But look, every team is different, and I can't predict the development of everybody's role is going to be different, and how players buy into doing the things that they need to do to accept that role and embrace that role is going to be the key to how these people develop, at these positions. But it's, it's the way it goes in college football. You lose 25% of your team every year. Creates lots of opportunity for other players, and how they take advantage of that to a large degree determines how successful they can be and how successful we can be.
We'll go to Aaron Suttles next. Aaron, go ahead.
Is depth at quarterback where you would like it, and what skill set did you see from Jalen Milroe?
We had Jalen in camp way back when, and we really liked his skill set. He's very athletic. He's very accurate as a passer. He's got a strong arm. He's got a really good disposition about himself as a leader, and a great personality that I think people can sort of follow. And we're excited to have him here. And he was one of the top guys in the country, in our opinion, and we were really happy to get him here. And obviously there's, a lot of competition with Bryce and the quarterbacks that we have coming back, but we want to help develop them all because we need to develop not only a starter at that position, but also depth at that position.
Okay, Coach, we will go on to Cecil Hurt.
Coach, I've got a two-part question. The first related to this signing day and really the last 3 weeks plus since the national championship game. You've also, in the midst of that, had to replace several staff members, and just we hadn't had a chance to really ask you about that. So first of all, how was that transition, and what were you looking for in a staff?
Right. Well, look, first of all, the staff that we had last year did a phenomenal job. And, we're happy for those that got better opportunities. Several guys got head coaching jobs. One guy got a coordinator job. So we're excited about, the opportunities that they got for themselves. I'm also excited about the people that we're able to hire. So, a lot of questions have been asked about whether these are NFL guys. Well, Sark and Kyle Flood were NFL guys when we hired them too. So, but they've been in college. They have college experience. They know the college game. And I think when it comes to offensive coordinator, quarterback development, you need knowledge and experience. And I think offensive line is the same kind of deal. The other coaches that we're able to hire are great position coaches, and they're good recruiters. So we're excited about the staff that we have, right now. But we also have a tremendous amount of appreciation for the job that last year's staff did as well. There'll be new energy. new enthusiasm, new ideas in terms of how we can improve what we're doing. But we've never reinvented the wheel here when we hire new people. We've just tweaked what we do to feature the players that we have, and that's what we'll try to do with this group.
And a follow up real quickly, Coach. As you mentioned, you're replacing a lot of offensive players. A lot of these young offensive players will have to take a role. And what was attractive to you about Bill O'Brien as offensive coordinator?
Well, if you look at Bill O'Brien's track record, he was a really successful college coach. He was a really good coordinator in New England when he was offensive coordinator for the Patriots. Did a tremendous job as a head coach at Penn State in one of the most difficult circumstances that anybody could ever be in after, the Joe Paterno deal. And he did a really good job in Houston in terms of, I think they went to the playoffs 3 or 4 years. So you're talking about a guy that has a really good track record in terms of whatever his responsibility has been. And he's someone that I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for. So we felt very fortunate that the timing of the situation allowed us to hire somebody like that. So I'm excited about it, and I think it's a great addition to our staff here.
We'll go to Tony Sukalis.
Nick, you talked about Jalen Milroe. In the past, you've had veteran quarterbacks to kind of help break in, your younger quarterbacks. This team doesn't have a lot of veteran quarterbacks in that room. What challenges do you foresee with that situation at the quarterback position?
Well, I think this year was harder to help sort of get guys experience to playing games because we played all SEC games or playoff games. So we're going to have to do a good job of helping these guys develop knowledge and experience and play with confidence. But I don't see how having an older player, Bryce actually played behind a guy that won the Davy O'Brien this year all year long, saw him practice every day. So I don't really see how having another guy, helps develop a younger guy. I don't get that for sure, or where that sort of assumption comes from. So I don't know that we'd do anything different.
We got 2 more. We'll go to Mike Rodak.
You have a couple players in this class, and Quincy and Terrion now, who have aspirations in basketball. Just how do you see that process playing out in terms of their time and how they might split it?
Well, look, I've told players that they can play other sports. We kind of want them to do what they have to do in football when they're freshmen, so they kind of learn the ropes. And we've had guys run track here, several guys. We don't have issues with guys playing other sports. Holcomb played baseball. I think and I had several guys at Michigan State that played basketball, tried to play basketball, tried to do both. And I'm happy with these guys, and Coach Oates and I have a good understanding of how we try to do it. And it's a little bit more difficult to play basketball because the seasons run together a little bit more. But if guys can contribute to our basketball program here, I'm all for it. And we're going to do everything that we can to help them develop as football players. And when they don't have football responsibilities, they can certainly go play basketball. And if they can contribute to our team, I'll be happy for them and happy for our basketball program.
Okay, Coach, that's actually all we've got today. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you.